Hey, welcome to Growth Rising. My name is Bird, and today I'll be talking about the four different elements. The elements are earth, water, air, and fire. Now, see, I'm gonna be going over the specific signs that are, each element, but do keep in mind that just because your sun sign is an element doesn't necessarily mean that that's your dominant element, like in your birth chart. Because, like, let's say your sun is Scorpio, but the only thing, like, the only planet that you have in in a water element is your sun, and everything, like, the majority of your planets are, like, in a fire sign. Well, in the fire signs, rather. So that means that your dominant element would be fire, even though your sun sign is water. And I'm gonna be talking about the different elements and also the sun signs within each element. But if you want to find out your dominant element, like in your birth chart, you just type into Google, like, how to find your dominant element. I think that AstroSeek does this as well. But first, I am going to be starting off with the fire. And yes, I will be looking over here because my notes are over here. Um, the fire element, the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These signs are enthusiastic. They move quick. They might not always think about what they're doing, but before they do it, they're confident. They're expansive. They're ongoing. They're energetic, and yeah, they like stuff in the heat of the moment. Like, they'll make a decision in the heat of the moment. And Aries is, for one, it's the first fire element, and it's ruled by Mars. And Aries is the most direct and focused. And if you know anything about Aries, they're very they make decisions very quick, maybe without thinking it through all the way. The second fire element is Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun, and they're more confident, and they also show leadership very well. Leos do. And if you know any Leos a lot of people who I know who've met Leos, and some of the Leos who I know, they do have either, like, they'll have a sense of confidence. And a lot of people also say cocky, but we're not going to get into that. And the third fire sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius are expansive and enthusiastic. So they're more upbeat. Like, one thing about Sagittarius is that they're optimistic, sometimes to the point where they don't realize what's really in front of them because they're just trying to, be so optimistic about it. I kind of see fire signs as cheerleaders because they're going to motivate you, they're going to make you feel well, they're going to boost you up, they're going to try to make you feel good and also make sure that you can do whatever it is that you have to do, because they are a lot about action as well. The second element that I'm going to talk about is water. Water signs are a bit dramatic at times. But water signs do more than just cry, I promise. They're very intuitive. A couple of things about the water signs is, well, that they're intuitive, creative, and they do deal a lot with emotions. And they're kind of empathic. Like, they can pick up on what somebody else is feeling. Like, I guess that intuition that they have. The three water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Now, Cancer is ruled by the moon and is very nurturing and, shows a lot of, like, motherhood. Not saying that fathers can't be nurturing, but that's one thing about Cancers and the moon is that they're very nurturing. They're going to try to give you what you need. Now, don't take it for weakness, but they'll give you what you need. The second one, Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, they're very obsessive, and they have like they deal with psychological depth. So, well, I mean, sometimes Scorpios get a bad rap, but they are very obsessive over the things that they like. So, if they are with you, you can also think about how they'll like to focus on you. You know, not to the point where they're trying to scare you or anything, but they're just focusing on you. And the third one is Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. Now, Pisces are very spiritual, and they're also connected to the collective. And they, like, one thing about Pisces, you might see them meditating a lot or doing something just to kind of clear their mind or be spiritual or whatever, because that's just kind of their thing with Pisces. The third element that we're going to talk about is the air element, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And I'll see Aquarius is one that I kind of had to get used to because Aquarius sounds so close to aquarium. So I was just thinking, why would it not be a water sign? But when we get into the characteristics of the air signs, you'll kind of see why. And Aquarius are like the water barrier. So the water barrier, you know, like the sign of Aquarius, like the little symbol. And that was another thing that kind of threw me off. But the characteristics of Aquarius does definitely fit an air sign. Air signs are very informative. And a couple of things about the air signs is that the air signs deals a lot with the mind. Like I said, they're informative. They also deals with thoughts and ideas. They're social, analytical, and they're pretty rational as well. With Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, deals with a lot of learning and also with duality. And you'll probably see Geminis pretty much always learning something new, like, and learning so many different things that might not even be related to one another, but they're going to learn just because that's just in them. The second one is Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. And Libras, they pretty much like to weigh things out. And they also deal a lot with the relationship and also mediation. So, you know, they're kind of just like that person in between who will try to see it from both sides equally to try to make the best decision possible. The third one is Aquarius. And see, this is why I can say I definitely see why Aquarius fits more with the air signs. For one, you know, Aquarius deals with the internet because it's like the collective thought. And also another thing with Aquarius is that Aquarius deals with ideas, people, and inventions. So they deal a lot with the mind because you're going to get ideas, like you might just think of a random idea in your mind, or you might think of a solution to a certain problem in your mind, and there you go, you have some kind of invention. Aquarius are also pretty smart. Like, they just are, like, they're usually ahead of their time. And we're just catching up with Aquarius. So that's why I can definitely see them as an air sign now instead of a water sign, because they might not be as intuitive or empathic, but they are intelligent. I'm not saying that the other elements aren't, but air signs are usually intelligent. And the last element that we're going to talk about is the earth element. And earth elements are very stable. The earth elements are Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And with earth signs, they deal a lot with the material world. They're stable, they're practical and patient, and they do work hard. Earth signs are hard workers. And They also like structure. Now, see, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and they're like the most connected to the material world, and also most connected to the earth. And something that with Venus is like, with it being so connected to the material world. In one of my other videos, I was just talking about how a Taurus will really know how to dress. A Taurus is going to dress to impress because it's just in them. It's not like them trying to think about, oh, I got to outdo everybody or anything like that, or I got to make sure I do X, Y, and Z. No, it's just in them to show up like as dressed to impress. The second one is Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury and also deals with a lot of the technical world and crafts. And they'll definitely pay attention to details. One thing with Virgos, they sometimes like things to be perfect. Like in their mind, whatever perfect may be, they gotta have it as that. And if you know any Virgos, you might notice how they might pay a lot of attention to details. And the third earth sign is Capricorn. Now Capricorns are like the leaders. They're like the Capricorns are ruled by Saturn. Sorry, didn't mention that. Capricorns are ruled by Saturn, and they're also achievement oriented. So that's like one thing with the Capricorn. If you tell a Capricorn what you want, they'll probably be like, okay, so what are our goals to get to that point? You want to get all the way to Z. Well, let's celebrate when we get to H and L and X, like get to those little goals to get to that big goal. And one thing that I know I also say about the earth signs that they're hardworking, but you cannot run over our earth sign. Like they're gonna do what they gotta do and be done with it. Especially a Taurus. They're gonna get on out the way. Virgos, they're gonna wait till they get it perfect. But Capricorns, they're gonna be thinking into the future, like, how can I get to this point? How can I get to that point? And I just think of like all of the elements together, like, I don't know, in a friend group or on a team at work. The fire sign would probably be the one giving the presentation, or the cheerleader boosting everyone up, making sure everybody is, kind of on an upbeat. The water sign will will help with your whatever you have going on emotionally. They'll be able to pick up on it sometimes even whenever you don't tell them, they'll just be able to pick it up on you. And they'll also make sure that you have what you need so that, so that you won't have a mental breakdown. The air signs will be the one probably doing the most research, getting the information together for everybody to do this presentation or present this presentation. And the earth signs are going to be the ones to be like, okay, so we're going to meet at this time. We're going to meet for this long. We're going to meet on basically the ones scheduling everything out with certain time slots to make sure that everything works together. And yes, we do all have all of these elements in our chart. It's just that today I did focus on the sun sign, but do keep in mind that, like I said at the beginning, just because your sun sign is an element doesn't mean that's your dominant element, because you could be a Gemini, which is an air element, but you are fire dominant. So you will still have those Gemini tendencies, those air tendencies, like it's not going to go away, but you'll probably resonate more with the fire element than the air. So that's just something to think about. And it's pretty interesting to me. So if you want to find out what your dominant element is, go ahead and Google it. Go to AstroSeek, because I'm a fire sign, but I'm air dominant. So to me, it was kind of cool. But most people I know, their dominant element is the same as their sun sign. So you could be a little different. But thank you for listening to me. Bye.